The floods have so far affected more than 54 million people, including 3.7 million displaced and 158 people dead or missing. The surging waters have destroyed 41,000 houses and damaged 368,000 more, according to the Ministry of Emergency Management. Death tolls and battered homes are fewer than in previous years, but displacement and economic loss are far higher. China's dams, its primary guard against floods, are coming into question as they face increasing strain. Last week, the government blasted open a dam in Anhui. On the same day, more than 16,000 people were trapped in Gorges town in the same province as the waters surged 10 feet high and broke through levees. Fears are intensifying over the gargantuan Three Gorges Dam, where the reservoir has risen 50 feet above the warning level, to its highest point since the dam was completed in 2006. China has more than 98,000 dams, according to the Ministry of Water Resources, more than any other nation. Many were built in the 1950s and 60s and suffer from poor maintenance. These flood control engineering projects are not a panacea, said Ma Jun, director of the Beijing-based Institute of Public and Environmental Affairs. With torrential rains, he added, the amount of water concentrated in each reservoir poses a risk of serious damage, even in small dams. The heavy storms over the Yangtze River basin are the result of a Western Pacific subtropical high, a pressure system that every summer carries warm air from south to north. The system is abnormally strong this year, said Lu Junyan, climate and energy campaigner for Greenpeace East Asia, but it is unclear whether it is caused by climate change. The flooding, however, is directly linked to man-made problems. China's over-reliance on dams, excessive construction in low-lying areas, land reclamation in wetlands and lakes, and cities built with poor drainage systems have all exacerbated flood damage. Those chased from their homes also speak of mismanaged flood systems, lack of government accountability and unequal treatment of the rural poor, who bear most of the flood burden. In Shenzhen, a county that suffered its worst flooding in decades this month when an upstream dam overflowed in the middle of the night, residents said they had been given no warning. The Three Gorges Dam in particular has been touted by the Chinese government as a symbol of national prestige, despite controversies over the mass displacement, environmental destruction, pollution, landslides and earthquake risks it has caused. Some environmentalists and engineers say China should revamp its entire flood control approach. All our urban planning and design has the single-minded concept, to speed up the water and flush it out. But we need to do the opposite, said Yu Kongjia, Peking University professor and founder of a landscape architecture firm called Terrenscape. Yu studied design at Harvard and returned to China a year before catastrophic flooding along the Yangtze River killed more than 4,000 people in 1998. He spent the next 20 years urging Chinese officials to adopt an eco-centric approach to urbanization. China's cities should be like sponges, not toilets, he said. Water should be slowed down and retained, not flushed away. The way to do that, Yu said, is by restoring riverbanks, wetlands and lakes, complete with their living sponges of soil and vegetation that can absorb and keep water locally. I am not against dams and hydrological structures, but I am opposed to over-reliance on human flood control, these grey infrastructures that destroy the green and natural system, Yu said. Just like a person, if you stay alive only by relying on a ventilator and injections, you are fragile. What will happen when the machines break? The human will face the risk of death. Cities are the same. In 1975, the Bonqiao Dam in Henan province broke during a typhoon, killing an estimated 86,000 to 230,000 people from immediate impact, starvation and epidemics from the floodwaters. It was the deadliest dam failure in history. China banned media coverage and only declassified information about it in 2005. But these days, President Xi Jinping has called for China to build an ecological civilization, and Yu has found enough government support to start sponge city projects in dozens of Chinese cities. They are a step forward against a ticking clock, as climate change exposes China to more severe and frequent droughts and floods. The occurrence of heavy rains has risen by about 3.8% per decade since 1931, according to China's Blue Book on Climate Change, 2019. That's a total increase of more than 20%, Lu said. Very severe change. Dams built to withstand floods that happen once every 1,000 years are now facing extreme water levels within 100, or 50 or 10 years of their construction, Yu said. No dam lasts forever, he added. It is not a question of whether but when each one ends, and who potentially pays the price. What are your suggestions on this? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned for more videos and subscribe to our channel for latest updates.